Hey, good morning, dragons. I'm Mr. Solano, and this is Flame, and we want to welcome you to the News of Camelot. Today's Friday, March 21st, 2025, and Flame, it's going to be an awesome weekend. Spring is officially here, and we're continuing to celebrate Women's History Month with someone very special and very dedicated. But before we get going on that, dragons, let's hear what Colton has to say. Take it away, Colton. Look at that. Terrific job, Colton. We're so glad you led us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. Flame, you have been inspired by many people in your line of work, mostly to help others see the goodness and be the goodness in all of their actions, right? And there is someone, it's a very famous person. You might have heard of Helen Keller. Have you ever heard of Helen Keller, dragons? Helen Keller was born back in 1880, so not when we were around. But she lived a very long life, and she persevered without the use of her eyes or the use of her ears. She was both without sight and without hearing, deaf and blind. And Helen Keller was so persistent and so dedicated to learning because people believed in her. People cared about her, and they identified and appreciated the goodness in her. And she became the first person to graduate college without the use of her eyes and her ears. That's just incredible stuff. And Helen Keller was a world-famous author and was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Ms. Vickers has in the library a book here. It says, So Much More to Helen. And Flame thought it would be very neat as not only a book to read, but just as a reminder that there's so much more to each of us than what's on the surface or what we know about someone. There's more than just one story. There's more than just one instance. That's why we are always trying to see and be the goodness. And if we flip to this book, and the very, very last page, there's a part here that we really liked. It said, Helen was a change maker. See that? Fought for those with deafness, blindness, and helped with laws, employment, schools, and kindness. And the fact remains in her history of work. That's her with the hat on. Helen Keller loved children, just like your teachers love children. And so when you get into your morning meeting, you can think of what is a great quality that you know about someone that other people might not know. Because if we were to look at Helen Keller back in the 1880s, in the 1890s, and in the turn of the century, we might not appreciate everything she does, but we know her now, and she has still made an imprint on people today. In 2025. Ta-da! It's time for the birthday box! That's just a feel-good story. And I didn't realize that Helen Keller lived to be that long. She was very dedicated. You know who else must be pretty dedicated are the people with the birthdays. 21st of March. Special birthday. We got Hugo in 4th grade. Happy birthday to Hugo. Hugo S. in 4th grade. We're glad you're here, Hugo. Happy birthday. And then this says tomorrow on Saturday, this says it's Miss Williamson's birthday. Miss Williamson, happy birthday to you on a Saturday? Get out of town. That is the neatest stuff. And speaking of the neatest stuff, it's Tasty Fish time. It's Tasty Fish time. Oh, the tasty fish is just streaming all over the place. So difficult to choose. All right, let's start here, Flame. It says, Louise wants to give a tasty fish to Josue because Josue is consistently doing the right thing. He circled actions affecting others. Nice job, Josue. Louise, thanks for bringing that to our attention. We got a tasty fish here from Abhinav. Abhinav wants to give a tasty fish to a bunch of people, including Max, Elmer, Caleb, and Gerardo, because they are helpful and nice, and we're going to point it out on a Friday. Good job. Good job, Abhinav. And then this tasty fish is from Alma. Alma wants to give a tasty fish to Leilani because Leilani is here when I need her the most. Leilani getting it done. Very nice. What else we got, Flame? What else do we have? Well, it's over by the over here. What's over here by the Helen Keller section? The Helen Keller section. If it's slow, Gert, and it's go, Gert. Hey, must be from Miss Flaherty. Yeah, Miss Flaherty. Keeping it real on a Friday. Let's see what it says here. Dear Flame, I love the start of spring, the blooming flowers, the outdoor activities, picking up, and even a pleasant shower to keep the plants happy. That is very artfully worded, Miss Flaherty. My word of the week is 4 letters and is a homograph. Do you know what that is? Flame, do you know what a homograph is? What's a homograph? A homograph is a word, or 2 words, because it has to be multiple words, that has the same spelling, but 2 different meanings. So a word that has the same spelling that means 2 completely different things, right? Okay, that makes sense. So let's see here. This word has 2 distinct meanings. One of them is the outside of a tree, and the other is what a dog does when it sees a squirrel. I have no idea what dogs do when they see squirrels, but maybe you do, dragons. And another meaning is the outside of a tree. I don't know, dragons, but if you know, Flame? Oh, nice. Okay, Flame knows. If you want to dazzle Flame with your knowledge, write a postcard, put it in the mailbox. You can send us a note. 4 letters. How many vowels? If you want to give another clue, how many vowels? Just 1? Okay, just one vowel. Let us know, and we will read it on the air on Monday. So, on behalf of Flame, I'm Mr. Salerno. Have an awesome weekend, dragons. The first weekend of spring. Make sure you see the goodness, be the goodness, and be the goodness, just like Helen Keller. And we can't wait to see you on Monday. Thanks, everyone.